It's a gift. Joe Rogan raves about Alex Pereira's ridiculous knockout power ahead of UFC 313. Joe Rogan is enamored with Alex Pereira's knockout power, as Opponent gears up to defend his light heavyweight throne for a fourth time at UFC 313. Pereira's rise to fame has been meteoric, mainly due to his stoic mysticism and exciting fighting style. Part of this is his concussive striking power, from his lazy low kicks to his patented left hook that has sent many men to the hospital. He faces his stiffest test yet in Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313. Ankalaev predicts that Charmer time is over ahead of their clash, but this hasn't stopped pundits like Rogan from gawping at Pereira's physicality. So different from anybody else. Joe Rogan praises Alex Pereira's uncanny punching power. On his Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Rogan touched on Pereira's punching power. The UFC commentator is routinely blown away by Pereira's ability to crack. He's so different from anybody else in the division, Rogan remarked. Everybody hits hard, they all hit hard, but that dude hits hard, Rogan exclaims. It's insane, his power's just like, from God, it's a crazy gift. It's different than everybody's power. Pereira is 12-2 in professional MMA, with 10 wins by knockout. As a professional kickboxer, he fought 40 times, winning 33 with 21 by knockout. Pereira also possesses one knockout win in professional boxing from 2017. Why Alex Pereira hits so hard? Alex Pereira is a giant. Pereira is a lean light heavyweight. He walks around as a heavyweight, still maintaining low body fat. His lean 6 feet 4 inches, or taller, frame and thick set allow him to generate a mean amount of torque behind his punches. Also constituting his power are his mass and speed. The faster Opponent can launch his big fists, the harder he hits, as is the law of physics. Pereira's style allows for harder hitting. Pereira's fighting style is known for counterpunching. An underappreciated element of his defense is his shoulder rolls and hip dexterity. Pereira often rolls with punches or leans out of range, returning fire with clubbing shots. This technique allows for those car crash moments where an opponent's mass meets Pereira's fist, doubling the impact. Alexander Volkanovski's singing to Diego Lopes at UFC 314 press conference has fans convinced he could have second career. Alexander Volkanovski burst into song as he mocked Diego Lopes ahead of their featherweight title fight next month. Legendary former featherweight champion Volkanovski is looking to make another run at the belt after losing his title to Ilia Topuria in brutal fashion last year. The defeat came after he failed in 2 efforts at lightweight gold against the record-breaking Islam Makhachev. And his run back to the gold begins at UFC 314 when he faces Lopes in Miami for the title which Topuria has vacated in pursuit of lightweight glory. The pair came head-to-head for the first time tonight in Las Vegas, and things got int. Alexander Volkanovski sings second-hand serenade at UFC 314 press conference. While Alexander Volkanovski is not necessarily known for his trash talk, he is always able to handle the banter at pre-fight press conferences. Tonight in Las Vegas was no different as he took to the microphone to go at his rival Diego Lopes ahead of their fight. He noted that Lopes' haircut made him look like the lead singer from a mid-2000s emo band. But perhaps the most outrageous moment came when he burst into second-hand serenade's renowned meme anthem, Fall For You. The pair appeared to laugh about the idea, while the Las Vegas crowd and other fighters on stage seemed to enjoy the performance. It remains to be seen if his singing is as good as his once legendary fighting. Fans impressed by Alexander Volkanovski's singing voice. Volkanovski's vocal effort was quickly clipped and shared across social media, with many fans noticing that he wasn't exactly out of key. Barstool Sports' Spinning Back Fist podcast shared the clip with a caption that read, "The man can sing." It appeared that many viewers concurred with the idea, with comments generally impressed with his performance. Volk could have a second career, one wrote, while another added that the UFC legend can sing emo, cook, and fight. A number of viewers on the UFC's official tweet were also full of praise, writing, "Volk singing good AF wow," and "Why was that actually good hole up?" Not everybody was so keen, but it was generally a positive response. Alexander Volkanovski receives $1 million challenge from undercard fighter during UFC 314 press conference. Alexander Volkanovski is already looking ahead to his second reign as featherweight champion. The great hasn't fought since losing the 145-pounds belt in a brutal knockout loss to Ilia Topuria at UFC 298 in February 2024. Since then, El Matador has relinquished his title, announced a move to lightweight, and teased big fight news. Alexander Volkanovski will face Diego Lopes for the vacant featherweight belt at UFC 314 on April 12. Alexander Volkanovski offered $1 million bet. On Friday, Volkanovski and Lopes came face-to-face for the first time at a UFC 314 press conference. Undercard fighters Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva somewhat stole the show by beefing on stage in Las Vegas. However, Volkanovski had his moments as he sung to Lopes before seemingly setting up his next fight. Former two-weight Bellator champion Patricio Freire is set to make his company debut at UFC 314. Pitbull made his presence felt at the event by reminding Volkanovski of a $1 million proposal. When I was in another organization, I made a bet with Volkanovski, Freire said in Portuguese. I said, $1 million if you or I win. I know we have got fights coming up, but maybe down the line you want to keep that bet open. Volkanovski didn't respond to the $1 million offer, but he welcomed a future fight with a Pitbull. If you put on a good performance, the Aussie fan favorite responded. Like I said, I'm expecting to defend my belt a couple of times this year. If you do a good job, I'll see you then. Alexander Volkanovski predicts UFC 313 main event. On Saturday night, Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev will battle for light heavyweight gold. Israel Adesanya has publicly backed his longtime rival to knock Ankalaev out at UFC 313. Volkanovski has also shared his thoughts on the biggest UFC fight of the year so far. Alex Pereira's very dangerous because he puts the pressure on and he can flick stuff out untelegraphed and set things up offensively and then on the counter, very good on the counter, he said on his YouTube channel. Hard fight for Ankalaev to stay on the feet. Ankalaev's gonna wanna take it down, he will try and take it down, he might get takedowns. I don't see him being able to submit Pereira unless Pereira gives something up in his process to building up. I'm gonna go with a favorite on this one, Alex Pereira, KO. I'm gonna go with KO, TKO. I think with him, it's always a pretty safe bet. I don't think it's gonna be early rounds. I'm thinking maybe second or third round TKO. Bryce Mitchell silenced by barking Gene Silva and loud boos in first UFC 314 promotional appearance. Bryce Mitchell's return to the UFC stage didn't go as planned, with loud boos and a verbal onslaught from Gene Silva shutting down his efforts to speak. The divisive featherweight contender has been in hot water since a slew of controversial comments during the first episode of his podcast. Dana White condemned his words but refused to cut him from the roster, instead matching him with the surging Silva at UFC 314, the biggest card of the year. Silva called his shot for Mitchell after his knockout win over Melsik Bagdasaryan at UFC Seattle 3 weeks ago. He was almost instantly granted the opportunity, and the chance to earn a featherweight ranking within a year of his UFC debut after 2 bonus-winning performances. Gene Silva shuts down Bryce Mitchell with barking UFC 314 press conference outing. Since his recent controversies, fans have been waiting to see Bryce Mitchell back on the UFC microphone. He was due to compete at Karate Combat, but pulled out in favor of the Gene Silva fight, for which promotion began tonight. However, after being asked for a statement by John Morgan, he was almost immediately met with a chorus of boos from the raucous Las Vegas crowd. That was compounded by a barking Gene Silva, who in between bizarre barks let off a flurry of verbal jabs, poking fun at Mitchell's outspoken support of the Flat Earth movement. And he shredded his rival when it came time for him to speak, putting translator Fabiano Busquet to work given his lack of English. Gene Silva tears into Bryce Mitchell in fiery UFC 314 press conference. After forcing Mitchell to put down the microphone without finishing a religious speech, Silva used Fabiano to get across a very pointed message. He noted that fans were not interested in hearing any more from his rival, and explained how he planned to silence him in April. Bryce, you're going to start seeing the world as round soon, Silva goaded, and when Mitchell attempted to reply, He continued, hey, Bryce Mitchell, calm down bro, you're only here because of me. I have advice for you, don't pick up the mic, it's getting ugly. Don't do that dude, no one wants to listen to you. I've got to tell you something. Get used to seeing the world as round, Bryce. You know what the crazy thing is? Not even you believe in yourself. Bryce Mitchell, chill, everyone here believes in Christ, right? Don't get mad, baby, calm down.